Ohio Supreme Court Justice and candidate for governor is still being criticized for his post on Facebook. Good evening, I'm Chelsea Sick. Thanks for joining us. Bill O'Neill is apologizing now to anyone who he offended. On Saturday afternoon, O'Neill deleted the original post. The post outlined his sexual history and included details that could identify some of the women. He says thousands of angry comments, including those from his daughter and sisters, made him see things differently.
That's why I've taken the post down and issued what I hope to be accepted as a heartfelt apology.
The initial post led to condemnation by members of both parties and the court's Chief Justice. An accident involving a brine truck yesterday morning shut down traffic on US 50 near Little Hocking in Washington County. Washington County Sheriff Larry Mink says the truck overturned near the intersection of US 50 and Collins Road. According to the Ohio State Highway Patrol, brine from the truck spilled into the Little Hocking. The Ohio EPA was on scene to investigate the impact of the spill. The EPA says cleanup will need to be handled by the responsible party. The project to turn Nelsonville's old school buildings into apartments is nearly completed. According to the Athens Messenger, the complex will be finished in time for people to move in by spring of 2018. The $10 million project includes 17 one- and two-bedroom apartments in the high school and another 16 in the junior high school building. The goal of the project is to provide affordable housing. Prices per unit are expected to start at a little over $400 a month. The apartments feature the original woodwork from classrooms and even the chalkboards. Kentucky is spending $500,000 so people can call to get help with opioid addiction. Beginning December 1st, anyone needing help battling opioid addiction in Kentucky can call either of the hotline numbers on the screen. A person will answer the phone from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. any other time. People can leave a message. Kentucky's Governor Matt Bevin says a large corporation may donate another $500,000 to keep the helpline staffed at all times. More than 1,400 people died from drug overdoses in Kentucky last year. Most of those were from opioids.
But it will warm up as we go into tomorrow. But right now, temperatures only around 40 degrees out there, with those winds out of the southwest at about 3 to 4 miles per hour. And you can see the dry dew point at about 25 degrees and that pressure at about 30.14 inches. And across the region, it's also been in the upper 30s to lower 40s right now. And you can see the temperatures in Chillicothe are about 38 degrees, Columbus at 42, Newark at 40, and Cambridge over at 39 degrees. And you can see today we did reach a high around 47 degrees here in Athens, and that actually happened just a couple hours ago. And that low this morning down at a chilly 23 degrees, far from our normals, actually below the average for both the high and the low. And the records were untouched, as you can see. The sunrise at 7:19, and you can see the sunrise at 7:19 and sunset happened just about an hour and a half ago at 5:11 p.m. And for the next couple hours, though, Chelsea, we do see temperatures going down pretty quickly because of those no cloud cover in the area. So 39 degrees by 7 o'clock, 36 at 8 o'clock, and then by 9 o'clock, 34 degrees. So you will need the gloves and the scarves. And it's been cool and quiet here. However, over in Kentucky, over the weekend, we did see some damaging winds there. With those damaging winds that battered central Kentucky on Saturday, cold front. Damaging winds battered central Kentucky on Saturday as a strong cold front began moving its way through the area. The strong winds ahead of the front created what is known as a squall line, which is a strong line of winds that can exceed 70 miles per hour. Straight line winds damaged multiple homes and uprooted many trees. And in fact, one tornado was confirmed in Meade County, Kentucky, with winds of 110 miles per hour. Southeast Ohio was fortunate not to see as damaging of winds, but did see a few reports of minor wind damage, Chelsea.
Thanks, Ethan. I'm glad we didn't see some of that wind damage here. Thank you. The city of Chicago is taking U.S. Steel to court after toxic metal was dumped into Lake Michigan last month. In late October, a wastewater treatment system malfunctioned at U.S. Steel in northwest Indiana. Nearly 60 pounds of chromium, a toxic metal, leaked into a Lake Michigan tributary. This is the second time it's happened in the last 6 months.
Lake Michigan is our most precious natural resource. We have a responsibility to preserve it. We have a responsibility to protect it, and we must pursue and punish those who pollute it.
The company reported it to the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, but requested, quote, confidential treatment and never notified the EPA. The company also said last month's spill did not pose any danger to the water supply or human health. Opponents of the Keystone XL pipeline say they may be able to indefinitely block the project. The Nebraska Public Service Commission approved a route today that veers away from the route preferred by developer TransCanada and approved by the federal government. Opponents say this decision brings up many new issues and allows them to take action. Bold Alliance opposition groups believe the process of getting the new route approved could take years. A look at the life of Charles Manson, plus the latest on Trump and North Korea. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local Gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
President Donald Trump has put North Korea back on the list of state sponsors of terrorism. He made the announcement today during a public meeting with his cabinet. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says designating North Korea as a state sponsor of terrorism is an effort to turn the pressure up. With this designation, more sanctions will be imposed.
The United States is designating North Korea as a state sponsor of terrorism. Should have happened a long time ago, should have happened years ago. In addition to threatening the world by nuclear devastation, North Korea has repeatedly supported acts of international terrorism, including assassinations on foreign soil.
North Korea has been designated as a state sponsor of terrorism before. Then President George W. Bush removed it from the list in 2008. Also in Washington, Trump is promising to give Americans a huge tax cut for Christmas at the cabinet meeting Monday. The president is discussing repealing the requirement that everyone have health insurance or pay a fine. He says he's expected to work with Republicans in the House and Senate on a plan that will reduce rates, simplify the tax code, and promote job growth. Trump says the administration is also working on issues related to infrastructure and welfare. Infamous cult leader Charles Manson is dead at the age of 83. California prison officials say he passed away of natural causes Sunday. Manson was serving 9 life sentences for murders carried out by his followers. Stephanie Elam has a look at his crimes and life behind bars.
1, 2, 3, what are we fighting for? California, 1967. The summer of love at its peak. Charles Manson arrived on the scene with folk music and a flock of ardent young followers, but with much darker ambitions.
Manson may be the most famous, notorious mass murderer ever.
The summer of '69 was marred by gruesome murders that shook the nation. 5 people killed at the home of Hollywood star Sharon Tate, and another couple murdered the following night.
These murders used to be called the Tate murders, and then some people call them the Tate LaBianca murders. Then Manson appears on the scene, and he's so charismatic and interesting that he upstages the victims, and from that point on it was called the Manson murders.
Manson was the mastermind behind the brutal killings, the leader of the Klan that carried out the unthinkable. He was convicted of conspiracy and murder in 1971 and infamously went down in history.
I do a lot of things in the world that you guys don't see.
Manson was born in Cincinnati in 1934 to a single teenage mother.
She got out of my life early. I spent the best part of my life in boys' schools, prisons, and reform schools because I had nobody.
After marrying twice and spending half his life in prison, 32-year-old Manson made his way to Berkeley in 1967. He established himself as a guru in the summer of love and was quickly sharing a home with 18 women.
You get these kids, these children, coming into Haight-Ashbury, and here is Charlie Manson saying how much he loves them and he wants to take care of them. He took full advantage.
As the Manson family formed and migrated south, its leader established himself on the fringe of the LA music scene. He recorded albums with the family, like the aptly named Lie, the Love and Terror Cult. Look at your game, girl. Manson's passion for music translated into an obsession with the Beatles' 1968 song Helter Skelter.
To Manson, it meant that the Beatles wanted to have a worldwide revolution, blacks against whites.
Aiming to launch the fabricated war, Manson directed his disillusioned Klan to kill. On August 9, 1969, 4 Manson followers invaded the Hollywood Hills home of actress Sharon Tate, where they massacred 5 people. The 26-year-old starlet was 8.5 months pregnant. The next night, the Klan brutally murdered Los Angeles couple Lino and Rosemary LaBianca. At both homes, they left behind shocking murder scenes.
When those words helter skelter were found printed in blood at the murder scene, that was tantamount to Manson's fingerprints being found at the murder scene.
After evidence in the cases mounted and a high-profile trial, Manson and 4 followers were convicted of 9 murders and sentenced to death in 1971, which was downgraded to life in prison when California banned the death penalty. The notorious killer appealed for parole 12 times.
If I'm not paroled, and I don't get a chance to get back up on top of this dream, you're gonna win. Helter skelter.
While the convicted killer became somewhat of a pop culture icon, the family members of his victims never forgot his true impact.
He needs to look into our eyes, victims' eyes, and see the pain that he's caused.
Manson suffered health problems in recent years. He would have been next up for parole in 2027. Actress and jazz and pop singer Della Reese has died at 86 years old after rising to fame with her first big hit record in 1957, And That Reminds Me. Reese became a television star on the CBS drama Touched by an Angel. She also became an ordained minister. Roma Downey, Reese's co-star on Touched by an Angel, posted on Facebook she died yesterday night at her home in California. A famous dome in Atlanta is now a pile of rubble. That story is still ahead.
Quiet and cool tonight, but how about your Thanksgiving forecast? We have those details next on WOUB. And here's a look at stocks of local interest.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night, live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Well, good evening from the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm forecaster Ethan Emery, and look at this beautiful shot earlier taken from the Skya Lab webcam. You see a gorgeous sunset, and across many places across Ohio and West Virginia did see a nice sunset. And it's going to be clearing out tonight because we're going to have a slight warm up tomorrow, but rain will quit, cold turkey. Good pun there. And then over the weekend, we do see below average temperatures come back into the forecast. But tonight, though, temperatures do fall down ever so slightly because of the clear sky, so 39 degrees by 7 o'clock. 36 at 8 o'clock, and then 34 by 9. So yeah, if you're heading out tonight, you will need the gloves and the scarves because it will be a chilly one for your walk this evening. And overnight lows do fall down into the upper 20s to low 30s. So 29 degrees here in Athens, 32 up in Columbus, 30 in Jackson. And across the river, you may see some patches of fog with that moisture from the rivers coming up. But otherwise, you're seeing clear skies and pretty cold temperatures around 29 degrees here in Athens, and those light winds out of the south at 0 to 5 miles per hour. And main of this cause is just because of this area of just high pressure dominating the region. We're a little bit ahead of the cold front, so as we get into today, tomorrow, you will see the cold front gets closer, but no rain associated with it. What is associated with it, though, is warmer temperatures, so all those winds from the south will going to shoot its way up into the Ohio Valley, bringing us warmer temperatures into the 50s tomorrow. But we do see a little bit of this trough right here. That will bring us some rain late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. But for tomorrow morning, though, clear skies and sunny. Jackets will be needed as you go to class for the kids, but as I said, it will get warm tomorrow, so jackets will be needed off the kids from class. So 31 degrees for the morning as you head off to the bus. Those winds picking up out of the south and west about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And if the hour by hour, 34 at 8 a.m., 49 at noon, and as clouds do increase, and by 4 o'clock, temperatures going to the mid to upper 50s, so daytime highs tomorrow should be reaching around 57 degrees over in Newark, 60 over Columbus, 60 degrees down in Ironton, and here in Athens, 57 degrees. But the one about Thanksgiving, we got you covered here at WOUB because the highs for Thursday, 44 degrees. A little cool and dry, but you will have some warm food to heat you up, and you be thankful for no rain because usually Thanksgiving we do see those showers, or even snow showers come into play, but light winds and some pretty mainly dry conditions. But for the weekend, Black Friday looks pretty nice, 48 degrees and sunshine there. Saturday, 52, and pretty nice weather there. And Sunday, cloudy and 38 degrees. The 7-day forecast, though, does show temperatures stay pretty cool for the most part, but Saturday and tomorrow being the exception with temperatures in the 50s. Chelsea?
All right, thanks, Ethan. Atlanta's Georgia Dome, home to the Atlanta Falcons for 25 years, is no more after the city bid farewell to the longtime venue with a spectacular morning implosion. Jeremy Roth has more.
And just like that, a famed Atlanta sports venue came crashing down. After 25 years, an early morning implosion took down the Georgia Dome in mere moments. It was the only facility in the world to have hosted the Olympics, Super Bowl, and Final Four, not to mention countless concerts and monster truck rallies. The Dome was also home to the NFL's Atlanta Falcons, but it was shut down this year following the opening of nearby Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Plans are underway to replace the Dome with, among other things, a hotel, parking, and green space.
Nearly 5,000 pounds of explosives were used to demolish the dome. Let's take a look at sports with Josh.
How's it going, everybody? Josh Gregory here, and let's talk sports. 3 teams in Southeast Ohio are still playing for a chance at the state title. And one Southeast Ohio team turned heads all season long after finishing winless 3 seasons ago. Don't miss an in-depth look at their transformation next on Newswatch. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
Welcome back, I'm Josh Gregory, and let's talk sports. Former Ohio State and Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Terry Glenn died at the hospital today after an early morning crash in Texas. He was 43 years old, and police are still investigating the accident, but say the rollover crash happened when Glenn's vehicle exited the road and slammed into a dividing barrier. While Glenn's fiancée sustained minor injuries, police say Glenn was ejected on impact. Glenn was a Columbus native and played at OSU from 1992 to 96, where he was recognized as an All-American. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones expressed his condolences to the family. The Nelsonville York Buckeyes are on their way to the state semifinals after a huge 28-7 win over Coal Grove on Friday. In Cold Grove's first drive, quarterback Nate Harmon throws up a pass, but NY's Chris Cook snags the pick, and that's what the Buckeye defense looked like all night. Later in the first quarter, quarterback Garrett Maiden connects with Keegan Wilburn in the end zone. NY up 7-0 early. Strong offensive play from those two, and just seconds left in the first half, Maiden sends it deep. Pass is tipped up, but it falls right in the hands of Shaquem Williams for a 46-yard touchdown. Unbelievable play to end the first half. So with this win, the Buckeyes move on to play the number 3 seed Kirtland Hornets, a team that also has no losses this season. And after a whopping 38-7 win over the Philo Electrics, the John Glenn Little Muskies will play 4th seeded Clinton Massey this Friday. And finally, in Division III, the Tri-Valley Scotties will take on St. Vincent St. Mary for a second time this season. Last time these two played, the Fighting Irish won 21-13. Besides Nelsonville York, the only other team in Southeast Ohio that finished with a perfect regular season is the Southeastern Panthers. WOUB's Nick Niehaus shows us how in 4 years this program went from 0-10 to 10-0.
The Southeastern Panthers' success is something that can never be taken away from them, especially since just 3 years ago, they had a winless season.
It's completely different, you know what I mean? The attitudes of guys are completely different. You're expected to win now as to where you're expected to lose, and that just makes you mad, you know what I mean?
Like Carson said, it's been 16 years since our last playoff game. Never won a playoff game, so to be the first quarterback to win a playoff game for this school, it would mean a lot to me.
Players on this Southeastern team think that what they've done this year means a lot more than just winning games.
It's time to change the tradition. Our tradition was, losing, and we dealt with it. But last year, we came out and we changed it. We went 6-4, and then this year, going 10-0, it's great.
And not only have they changed the tradition, but they've also been able to change the love of the game for themselves.
We just kept losing, and halfway through the season, I was like, man, I just want to get out of here. We're not going to win any more games. And then we just started picking it up over the past few years, and now I don't want to quit. I just want to keep playing and playing.
And with all that recent winning, Southeastern's been able to live out their team motto.
So it's do what winners do, when no one's looking, how are you going to react and what are you going to do to be a positive influence. Day-to-day activities, at home, around the house, in town, playing with your friends, whatever it is, do what winners do. Winners are going to do those right things, and those things are going to equate to the football field.
From what we saw on the field this season, Southeastern did what winners do.
1, 2, 3, 2.
Although the Panthers fell in round 2 of the playoffs, WOUB's Gridiron Glory staff named head coach Evan Gallagher the Gridiron Glory Coach of the Year. And sticking to the gridiron, quarterback Andy Dalton led the Cincinnati Bengals past the Denver Broncos yesterday 20-17. Dalton threw for 154 yards and 3 touchdowns. First one here on the play action fake. Dalton capitalizes with a short pass to Tyler Croft. Early 6-0 lead for the Bengals. Cincinnati down 6-7, and Dalton looks deep. Alex Erickson down the sideline for a 29-yard touchdown and a 13-7 lead going into half. And at the start of the fourth, Dalton again throws deep to A.J. Green for an 18-yard touchdown, which sealed the deal in this one. And if you like close wins, you'll love this. After clawing back from an 18-point deficit, the Ohio men's basketball team outlasted Indiana State 96-94 in quadruple overtime. Ohio's comeback win is the largest under head coach Saul Phillips. And senior guard Mike Laster led the Cats with a career-high 25 points and a career-high 7 rebounds. However, the Bobcats had a rough start, only managing 24 points in the 23 minutes. But the Cats outscored Indiana 39-23 in the second half. Big plays from Gavin Block helped the Cats stay alive in overtime. And Ohio will be back in action on Friday when they host Mount St. Mary's. I'm Josh Gregory, and that's all I got for sports. Back to you, Ethan.
Thanks, Josh. Tonight's lows should be in the upper 20s, lower 30s with clear skies. Tomorrow should be a pretty different story with warmer temperatures coming in the area. Upper 50s to low 60s with sunny skies. In the 7-day forecast, though, pretty cool, but nice Thanksgiving forecast for your Thursday.
Thanks, Ethan. That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Chelsea Sick. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.